All right, so let's say you want to go ahead and move out of mom's house. You want to get out from under mom's wing. You want to get out and make a living for yourself. You want to build your own house. No, not to build it, but you want to live in your own place. And you're not really sure what you need to do. Well, got this thing over here. She's lived many apartments, many different places all over the place. She's been through the apartment situation several times. I've been through it a couple times, but you know, whatever. So obviously my first point, what to do if you are wanting to get your first apartment, like what to do in your first apartment. Well, my first opinion, then we'll go to her, kind of see what she thinks. My first opinion is obviously you want to figure out what your income is or what you're going to be able to afford. That should be common sense, but you know, there's not a lot of common sense these days. So you want to think about how much money are you able to bring in a month. And I'm not talking about bringing a month and after, you know, total. You want to think about how much you bring in after your cell phone's paid, your insurance is paid, and stuff like that. What do you have left that you can put forth to an apartment? So that would be my first note. That'd be the first thing to me. What I would think of is think about your financial situation. Now let's think of number two. What do you got in mind for number two? What would you do if you're looking for an apartment? What would be your second thing you do after thinking about your finances?
Location.
Location.
It's always about where you want to be, where you need to be, and what's the neighborhood like. So
yeah, because you don't necessarily want to. Yeah, you know, this place may be a good price, but you got hobos hanging around your place and a bunch of homeless people. Probably not something you want to live in, because you take a chance of like break-ins on your cars, stuff getting stolen, or just getting harassed all the time. And that does get old. I try to be friendly to most of them. I try, but sometimes it just gets old, you know, and dealing with the homeless, you know. So it gets a point you want something you don't have to deal with that, and that kind of think what she's talking about too. Anyways, continue on.
yeah. So, and of course, if you are female, you definitely want to be safe. If you're strong like him and can take care of his own, you're fine. So sometimes money isn't a matter, but for a lot of other people, it is about safety. On another note, crime knows no zip code. I've definitely lived in some nice places and gotten the apartment broken into too. So just keep that in mind. But for me, when I think location, it just also depends on what kind of a city you live in. If you live in a metroplex like us, it's about what kind of commute do I want. Am I okay with commuting? Am I okay with toll tags? Am I okay with waking up an hour early or 2 hours early to get to my job or wherever you want to be? So it's about the commute as well. For me personally, I like my activities, my you know, church. So if you're into religious life, my activities. I used to love to go dancing. That's my favorite hobby. You know, if you like to work out, some people like to be somewhere where there's a running trail. Or if you don't like people at all and you want space or country life and go fishing, I mean, like I said, just figure out what location you want to be at and then go from there. I personally like to pick the place that I'm interested in and Google Map, you know, the distance and the time frame it is to get to work, to get to play. So that's something else to think about.
Yeah, and that's true too, all that as well. I think, and then to me personally, like the next thing I would think about is maybe just swinging in one day and go for a tour. Obviously, you want to check out the apartment. You don't want to just sign a lease on something without knowing what the place looks like, obviously. I mean, just because a place looks nice on the outside doesn't always mean they're nice on the inside. You know, and you know, like me and her, we've done some shopping before where you go into some apartments and like, man, these places look nice from the outside. I mean, just like completely renovated or whatever, but you get the inside, it looks like early 80s. It's just like old decoration. You may have to go around the back.
Old appliances.
You know, old appliances, you know, gas stoves, which I'm just not a fan of gas appliances, but stuff like that, you know. And then you also, like I said, you want to check out the people, you know, that are around that area. You know, if there's some sketchy looking people, I wouldn't want to live there. That's just me personally, because like I said, same thing, you got to deal with being harassed or whatever it may be, or just getting robbed or whatever. You know, just a lot of different things. Like I said, and once you get good and you find you the good location that you like and a good apartment that you may like. Then you want to go, obviously you want to go in, you want to sit down and start talking about the lease and what are the terms of the lease. That's one thing you definitely want to look at, because they may have little wishy-washy things in there that you want to definitely pay attention to, rules and stuff like that. Then once you get all that figured out, then you will start talking about what's going to cost to get into that. Then there's deposits, there's application fees, there's all those little odds and ends things that you really don't hear a lot about, but they're there. And that's the other stuff you got to think about financially on how to pay for. And so once you get all that taken care of and you get ready to start moving in, then you move in, basically. Anything else you can think of off the top of your head that you would think about?
Right before moving, or when you're looking for a place?
Just whatever comes to mind.
Well, definitely before a move-in, you've got to think about what do you have for your initial move-in. Do you have your toiletries? So besides just having, the deposit, the rent that you want to pay at the beginning of the month, you're obviously going to have to buy new groceries to fill in your refrigerator, toiletries, toilet paper, cleaning supplies. Because, for the most part, they are supposed to clean your unit, but let's say you got a rental house, you never know the condition as well. So that's definitely something you're going to want to think about and just pocket and budget for and set aside. And, if you want some furniture that you don't have or a bed, just kind of thinking about start budgeting and saving up for that, because you never know. We're also heading to the gym right now, so that's why my driving. For me, also having my gym is key, having it nearby. But anyways, that's what I actually think about and keep in mind when I'm moving, is just keeping a good extra budget and savings, because you never know what you're gonna get. For the most part, again, if you're also, we're talking about just renting. If you're renting,
we're talking about just renting.
Okay, yeah, because we haven't actually experienced buying a house. That's hopefully our next thing. But
buying hopefully is coming soon.
But for the most part, when you're renting a property, you'll have a landlord that'll fix things, so you don't usually have to worry about maintenance and that's one less thing to worry about. I think that's why some people love to rent, because they don't have to worry about the upkeep of a yard or anything like that. Let's see. So that's something else I usually keep in mind for an initial move-in. Do you have pets? What are the rules for the pets? Do they like a lot of apartment days because of liability, so want aggressive breeds? So do you have a chow? Do you have a Rottweiler?
Pit bulls in a lot of places too.
So you got your love for your fur baby, and you've got your apartment. Let's see.
So basically, in a nutshell, that's kind of the gist. That's kind of where you want to be. That's kind of what you want to look at. Like I said, there's several other little things that go into it, but for the bigger picture, that's kind of where you want to start. Those are kind of what you want to do. Now, for people that have already gone out and y'all have lived that life, y'all have had apartments, y'all have done this, you already know the drill. Y'all know what you're going to go through. You know what's coming. These are for people that are either just getting out of high school, or fixing to take off to college and don't want to live on campus and they want to get an apartment or whatever it may be. This is more for them, because some kids these days just literally do not know. They don't know what they're getting into. So this is kind of a little video kind of throwing out there our personal experiences and kind of what we've been through, throughout the years. And that's pretty much all it is. So take it for what it is. I hope this video helps you out some. If it does, make sure you like and subscribe. Comment below. Don't argue, don't fight. If you have a disagreement with something, cool, that's fine. Just comment below and we'll do our best to get back with you. All right, till next time.